Terrible fucking timing. Cold brew is almost empty right as the show is starting. Rookie here. You know what? That's all right. I'm high on life because you give me a slimy, gross ass little Thursday night football slate. I don't give a shit. I'll just get there on God's caffeine. Called Adrenaline. What's up, new guy? My name's James, better known as the Degenerate75, a DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at DFS. I'm not going to do it with picks and plays and all that shit. I'm going to do it with a little thing called The Process, if that sounds interesting. Hang around for the next 25, 30 minutes. Hell, maybe even toss a question over there. If you're really cool, toss a like and a subscribe on there, you motherfather. Hey, if you find you like the cut of my jib, check out that schedule. I do this show every Monday and Thursday. Of course, I do a Saturday night show, the main slate, 7 o'clock, Lord's time zone every Saturday night. I also do golf. I do college football. I do everything. They call me the whore. That is my nickname. Okay, I only do like 4 things, but to me, that's a whore. Let's get going. Don't forget, for every 50 likes, I will be giving away a lineup that we will build tonight together, and we will toss it in the whatever the big contest is tonight. I assume it's the Half a Millionaire Maker, but we'll just go look right now because we're going to start with contest selection. The first place you're blowing your money, new guy. Let me turn on the fan. Little fat kid Toasty in here already. Let's see what we got tonight. Let's go over here to the NFL. Let's go over here to Showdown. All right, not Ting. Get the fuck out of here. All right, so as always, you got this one. You're going to go toss your one lineup in here. Okay, let me tell you the end of this. You're going to get kicked in the dick, and you'll be like, I never win a damn. Well, that's because you're playing dumb dick contests like this, okay? I am telling you, if you want to have fun with Showdown, and you want to have a sweat that goes past the first quarter, then go get in some of these smaller contests, dude. There's so many good contests down here. Just sort by total prizes, and just don't even look at any that are 50,000 or more. Just go right down here. I always highlight this one. If you're a guy that plays $50, go play in this $50 one right here, okay? Just one lineup, really concentrate on your script, concentrate on your narrative, maybe pick a contrarian captain, and get in this bad boy. Look, 10% of the prize, $50,000 prize pool, first place, 10%. Ding, check. Second place, is it half of first? Ding, check. 10th place, is it 1/10 of first? Ding, check. Look, that is the best. That is such a better way to spend your $50 tonight. Am I promising you're going to win? No, you're playing a GPP. This shit's hard. But I'm telling you, if you play this every single week for an entire, 3 or 4 years, your return on investment is going to be so much higher, 99 times out of 100. Yes, one ass clown's going to put the one lineup in the one. He's going to hit it. And everybody will be like, oh my God, you get one lineup you got there? That's no different than the motherfucker that hit the lottery, okay? Yeah, somebody's got to hit it, but that's not going to be you. So quit being that guy. All right. Sorry, Mom. Didn't mean to say mother effer. I apologize. Guy in the back, sit down. Okay. Hey, don't forget, go get my contest right now. Editor, put the link over here in the description. Could be Travis in the house. Let's go. Put the link in the description, editor. Hop in this contest. This is for Sunday main slate. This isn't for tonight. It's a $5 3 max reduced rake. Get in there. Grow the community. We've been filling it. I haven't even had to go on Twitter and beg y'all even once to fill it up. I appreciate you guys, all right? Hey, I know a lot of you guys are members over on my website. Go fill out this survey. It's over on the website. Get over there and fill it out. I want to hear from every one of you guys. I'm trying to make the site as good as possible and to serve you guys the best way possible. So go fill out that survey and help me do it, you motherfathers, all right? If you haven't heard, the big guy's leaning hard into prop bets in 2020, 2024 next year, which is really soon. I believe that's, 17 days away, 18 days away? And so if I'm going to lean into prop picks, I better start showing you I know what I do. I went and counted it. The last 8 times I've done this, we've hit 2 out of 3. So I hope you're not parlaying these together. I hope you're betting them individually, and you're winning a lot of money. If you're parlaying them, I'm sorry. I am sorry, okay? I will tell you, I have really look, underdog and price picks are great. They're fun little ways to do these prop bets. But I will tell you, ever since we broke their dicks at PGA and they got rid of correlation at PGA, I kind of swore off of them, right? Because if you don't know at PGA, basically they would say, like those people in a weather forecast was like, nobody can read this. This is like hieroglyphics. So it would just be a beautiful day, and you just go take the over on all the birdies, and we literally broke them to the point that we're like, no more correlation. So that ever since then, I've been much bigger on betting these prop picks individually on sports books, right? Not that it's legal in my state, but if I did, I am betting them singly, okay? Okay. So here's some ones that we like tonight. And by the way, we're not just, these aren't, I have a feeling, right? What we do when we pick these prop picks is we're using our projections. And let me tell you, I have a very try-hard team when it comes to projections. And we just go look at where Vegas is laying softer lines, and then we go bet accordingly, right? So if you're continually doing that and you hit 2 out of 3, let me just go ahead and tell you the ending of this story. You're going to win. So here you go. Here's some that we like tonight. I know it is no longer October. And because of that, I think we got to be aware of Michael Myers. All the babysitters, watch out tonight. Actually, you're going to be safe because we don't think he's going to do much, right? We're going to take the over-under on Michael Myers. I know it's not Michael Myers. Fucking take a joke, new guy. Jesus, you guys are wound up so tight. Under 2.5 receptions. Why are we under 2.5 receptions on all Michael Mayer? Well, first of all, the quarterback situation tonight is about as clear as mud. Second of all, this game just reeks of a slog. And second of all, like, the Raiders are barely completing forward passes these days, right? He is probably about the third option on the team, clearly behind Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams. And just based on the flow of this game, I do not think you're going to be seeing him get a ton of targets. We have him projected at like 3.2 targets. That means he would have to have over a 75% catch rate to get there. We will take the under on that. Number 2, Joshua Palmer. You got to play Joshua Palmer tonight. Okay, Keenan Allen's out. Go play Joshua Palmer. You guys are forgetting a fun little fact called Joshua Palmer fucking sucks, all right? You got to get kicked. You don't forget that caveat, okay? People are going to be smashing his over tonight, assuming he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver, him and Quentin Johnson, but you're forgetting one little problem called he sucks balls, all right? He's not that guy, pal. He's not that guy. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets 5 targets tonight, which is solid, and gets 4 catches, and he will have precisely like 18 yards. We're going to play the numbers that, once again, this game is going to be very slow, very sloggy, and not a lot of down the field passing. And so with that, we will take the under on Joshua Palmer's yards. And then lastly, old AOC, Articles of Confederation, for all of you that know your history jokes. Congratulations to the 3 of you that got that. Aiden O'Connell under 18.5 pass completions. I don't think you're going to see Aiden O'Connell throw the ball 30 times. Hell, I think you're going to struggle to see him throw the ball 25 times. And if he throws the ball 25 times, we are going to bet that he is not going to complete 75% of his passes, okay? Just like the real Articles of Confederation, he was a failure. We think he'll be a failure. Or it was a failure. We think he'll be a failure. We'll take the under on 18.5 pass completions. Not pass attempts, pass completions. That's the prop bets we're going with tonight. As you can see, we're very pessimistic on these donkey dicks. Bet accordingly, okay? Let's get over to the Rosetta Stone. If you don't know, it's right here. Okay, it's right here. This is the Rosetta Stone. It is the blank one. You want to see the fancy one? See this fancy one over here? It has ownership. It has, if they're high upside, cash. It has any status watches, like if they're hurt, we got to watch, make sure they're going to be active. We have leverage, which lets us know how often they're showing up in the optimal versus how much they're going to be owned. We have everything on here. We have everything, right? But this is the YouTube. I'm a poor version. This is what you're going to get, and you're going to like it, pal. All right, so let's talk about this game. At first, before we ever talk about players, I watch these other Showdown shows. Well, as much as I can fucking stomach, I watch them. And it's always this. It's always plays. And yes, it's Showdown. Particular plays are important. But there are 3 things that are definitively more important than any in particular single play. All right? And I'm going to run you through those 3. It's the same 3 I talk about every frickin' show. So if you don't know by now, well, either you don't pay attention or you're a new guy. Either way, get it together. All right, number 1. Game script, right? Game script, everybody is going to play the slog narrative tonight. And when you look at these teams, I don't blame you, right? First of all, they're missing tons of star players, right? Herbert's out, Keenan Allen's out, Josh Jacobs is out, right? Like basically the best players for both teams are out. Okay, so right there, when you have less electric players, you're going to expect it to be more sloggy, right? You have backup quarterbacks for both teams. I know Aiden O'Connell has been starting for a while, but he's still a backup quarterback, right? And I've even heard some rumblings, old Garoppolo might get in there, and I'm going to have to watch that one, right? So that leads to everybody believing it's going to be sloggy. And so when there's a sloggy narrative and there's no way that people can see it, well, I will tell you, I think it's a very, very small chance this game's going to shoot out tonight. So I don't love that narrative to be a little to counteract what the prevailing narrative is going to be. But let me give you one that could get there that no one's going to play. Why don't you just play Las Vegas blows them the fuck out, right? Or if you're feeling saucy, just go with the Chargers blow them out. Just play one team is actually good at offense tonight, and the other team is exactly what we expect. That is a narrative. No one is going to play a narrative where the score is 27-7, right? Or it doesn't even matter which team you think that's going to be. No one is going to play a 27-7 type narrative and just go load up 5 guys on one team, and this team beats the shit out of this team because they assume when both teams suck that you need to play 3 threes and it's going to be relatively equal. So why don't you just go play a quarterback, a running back, 2 pass catchers, and either the kicker or the defense from one team, and then just run it back with probably the kicker from the other team. And right there, you're going to have a very unique build just by the way you built your lineups. Not by playing some $200 Stone Smart or some shit like that, but simply just by the way you constructed your roster and the narrative that you followed, right? The next one I've already hinted at. It is roster composition, right? Think about this. Most people tonight are going to build this way. It will be 3 Chargers, it will be 3 Raiders, okay? And then you will see a slight lean towards more Raiders. Probably about 60% of captains tonight will be Raiders in the captain spot versus the Chargers simply because they're at home and they are the favorite. So right there, if you want to be different, well, you could go with a 3-3 build with the Charger at the captain, but that's really not kind of the leverage you need, right? That's a minuscule edge or a minuscule change that you're trying to make there. The real way to get different tonight is start leaning into the Chargers, right? Go 4-2 Chargers. Go 4 guys in your lineup from the Chargers and 2 from the Raiders. Or if you're a real sicko, go 5 Chargers and 1 Raider. And I'm talking like less than 3 to 5% of lineups will be constructed that way. And you don't have to play these weird players, right? You don't have to play some dude you've never heard of before. You simply can play the same guys that everybody else is playing. You're just constructing your roster different by loading up on 5 Chargers. On the flip side of that, I also think that 5 Raiders tonight is going to be very, very uncommon. I think at most you will see 5 to 7% of lineups built with people loading up on 5 Raiders versus 1 Chargers. This is the way that you can get in there and build a roster full of guys that you like and not these crazy punt plays that could, find a shamrock shoved up their ass, but you can just construct your roster different. All right. So number 1, we have pick a narrative that not everybody's picking, which has been working really well if you've been watching this show. The big guy's just been living on counter narratives. And by the way, counter narratives don't always get there, right? But sometimes they do, and they get there enough that when they do, you get the dividends for hitting those counter narratives. Number 2, just simply construct your roster different than everybody else by the number of players that you put on each team. And number 3, probably my favorite and the biggest thing I've been doing over these past several weeks when I have been on a heater at Showdown is just picking a contrarian captain, okay? So many times people want to just go with the safe captain. Guys who are going to be wildly popular at captain night are, of course, going to be Austin Eckler. It's, of course, going to be Devontae Adams. The quarterbacks are always going to be in there a decent amount. So why don't you just go pick guys who have big upside, guys who are going to be on the field, but guys that also have the chance to get you 0. Because let's face it, you want your captain to be a guy that gets you dick. Well, we don't ever want him to get us dick, but we want those guys that have that big upside, right? Like a guy like Parham, yeah, he's a nice player, but what's his upside? He's never going to get you 20 points, right? So that is not the kind of guy you ever want to put at a captain. He's a good flex play, right? He is that guy that could get you 3 catches, 30 yards, and maybe a touchdown, which would be a great game for a flex, but that will rarely get you there in the captain spot, because you need that captain to usually be the either the highest point scorer in the game or the guy who scores the most points per dollar. Okay, and on this slate, I don't even think you're worried about points per dollar because everybody's so damn cheap, Bob. So who are some of these guys that could have these big games that are going to be lower owned than we would expect? And I think the answer is going to be these wide receivers. Everybody just assumes that nobody is going to be able to throw the forward pass in this game. So who are these guys that could have these big games? Part of me would say, these Raiders running backs, Zamir White and Amir Abdullah. I think they're both interesting, but I think that they're probably going to get more steam in the captain spot than you think. So to me, the wide receivers are where it's at, right? A guy like Jacoby Myers at 8,600, not a freaking soul is going to play at the captain spot tonight, right? He could go for 5.2, right? And if he does, don't be like, hey, he only got me 5.2 and you told me to play him. Well, first of all, I don't tell you who to play at all because you want to know a little secret, new guy? I don't give a shit who you play. But I am telling you that old Jacoby Myers always has a 25 burger in his back pocket, okay? Even with Articles of Confederation as the quarterback, right? So those are ones I'm considering. Quentin Johnson, just inevitable flop this year, right? The guy sucks. The rookie out of TCU, I keep wanting to bet on him, and God, he sucks. But you know what? He could have one good game, right? So these are the kind of guys that are these big, high upside guys that could also get you there. How about this one? I think if I'm going to play a quarterback at the captain tonight, which I actually think is a pretty sneaky play, typically quarterbacks are over-owned in the captain spot on Showdown ones, but with these 2 quarterbacks, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Easton Stick is a guy that probably will be the optimal captain somewhere around 10 or 15% of the time. If you go look at his first game, this guy has a pulse, right? Just like I told you with Jake Browning. I never told you that guy was a good quarterback. All I said is he had a pulse, and then he goes out and throws for like 378 yards, right? And I'm not telling you Easton Stick is a good quarterback. Which, by the way, can we just point out when I was a kid that, you know what Easton Stick was? It was a baseball bat. Now it's a quarterback in the NFL. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So this Easton Stick guy, I'm not telling you he's going to be good, but I am telling you he is a high upside captain. He is going to either I project do very well or very average. Not a guy that I'm loving to stick in my flex. I'm putting him at captain or I'm fading his ass. Those are the kind of guys I like to put there. Guys that I'm probably not putting in the captain spot are going to be the obvious plays that everybody else puts at captain. A guy like Austin Eckler, Devontae Adams, guys like that are going to be very, very popular in the captain spot. So what I do is I play those guys because they are the best offensive player for each team. I just play them more in the flex because I want my captain spot to be very, very leveraged and be that guy that goes off. Great example is like Devonta Smith, right, for the Eagles. Everybody always wants to play him in the flex, but like he's a guy that does nothing or he goes off. So those are the kind of guys I like to play in the captain spot. So those are the three big ways tonight that you can get different by not trying to find this punt, right? Everybody's going to talk about, but what about this backup fullback that could catch a touchdown? You're going to spend all your time worrying about all that shit, and you'd be so much better just focusing on the three things I just gave you, okay? All right, now let's actually talk about the players, update you on some injuries, and get you ready for the slate tonight, okay? First of all, the total's disgusting, right? I think the total is when the School of the Blind plays the School of the Deaf. It's called the Helen Keller game, all right? And it's not great, bub. It's not great. And the reason is we just have so many injuries. If you have not heard, Justin Herbert is out for the season, having surgery on, his thumb, his hand, something. I don't know. Bro, I don't keep up with all the injuries. I just need to know who's playing. I don't give a shit why you're out. I just know he's out. I like Justin Herbert. Seems like a nice guy. Kind of sucked this year. Killed some of my best ball teams. Whatever. So with him being out, Easton Stick's going to take over, and, I'm telling you, he wasn't that bad against the Broncos. Yes, they didn't score a lot of points, but if you go look at his stat lines, like, he can throw a forward pass, right? He can throw a forward pass, and it has been caught before. He's not a rookie or anything. This guy was drafted way back in 2019. He has plenty of years of being a backup quarterback. I'm not afraid to play this kid, especially in this game. If nobody wants to play a quarterback in a showdown game, I will always play a quarterback, because you want to know what makes a quarterback unique in a showdown game? They have the ball in their hands every fucking play. They're the only guys that can say that. Well, I guess the center, but the center also can't be on our fantasy team now, can he, Bob? From there, Austin Eckler is of course, the best player for the Chargers tonight. With Keenan Allen out, I don't even think it's close. Austin Eckler is going to be wildly popular tonight, because it's so easy to get him in with no pay-up options. I think Austin Eckler is legit going to be 80% owned. And Austin Eckler is, he's probably in line for 7 targets and something like 15-plus carries, right? I would be very surprised if he doesn't get at least 20 opportunities tonight. And opportunities are carries plus targets. So I really like Austin Eckler to get those targets, but at $11,000, he needs to have a pretty solid game to play that. And if you play him at captain, he will kind of limit what you can do with the rest of your lineup, right? So just be aware of that. But Austin Eckler obviously is going to be a guy highly involved tonight. I think he's a little banged up, but you know what? I think I'd still rather have a banged up Austin Eckler than a lot of these other slapdicks they have. Back up, Joshua Kelly at 6,800. I don't know what that pricing's all about. I guess when they made these prices, they thought Austin Eckler was dead. Josh Kelly at 6,800. If you're a real sicko and you want to be different, I guess play him, but I do not know why that guy is $6,800. I think we have him projected right between 0 and nothing, right? Somewhere in between there. To me, if this Easton Stick guy is going to have a good game, almost certainly 2 of these pass catchers are going to have a good game. And with as affordable as they are, I think that multiple of these guys could get there. I do not mind Easton Stick with at least a double. And on Showdown, I think you could even be a weirdo and triple stack him, right? So, why can you double or triple stack? He's only going to throw for 225 yards. But look how cheap his wide receivers are, right? It's not like they got to have a big game. If he throws for 225 and a touchdown or 2, he could easily take 3 pass catchers there with him, right? So starting out, Joshua Palmer is back. Joshua Palmer is, the inevitable, oh my God, he's going to be so good. He's never good. But at 6,200, I do think he will be the guy most likely to get the most targets tonight, maybe behind Eckler, right? Of the wide receivers and tight ends, I think he is most likely to get it tonight. If they throw the ball down the field, I think him and Quentin, actually, you know what? Guyton, Johnson, and Palmer are all guys that get downfield targets. You just have to wonder how comfortable they're going to be chunking the ball down the field with old Easton Stick, old baseball bat. So Joshua Palmer at 6,200 is a very, very fair price. If you were buying the narrative the Chargers are going to have a pulse on offense tonight, I think Joshua Palmer at 6,200 is super underpriced, and I think he could also even be captain viable, right? I think he is captain viable at 6,200. You're telling me he couldn't get 7 catches, 70 yards, and a touchdown? That would likely be, based on the total that Vegas is telling us, that could likely be enough to get there. Quentin Johnston, the rookie, I want to believe. Okay, I'm like the X-Files in the 90s. I want to believe, damn it. And he just hasn't been good, right? If there's ever a spot this guy's going to be good, it's going to be here. But let me just go ahead and say this. If you can't be good when Justin Herbert's your quarterback, are you going to be good when baseball bat's your quarterback? I don't know about that, brother. I don't know about that. But I will tell you, somebody from the Chargers has to do well tonight. And I think Quentin Johnston, of all the pass catchers, is just as likely as any of the other ones, right? I think outside of Eckler, he is the most talented guy who could do something. Jalen Guyton, I think a lot of people are going to fall for that trap tonight at $1,400. He is vastly underpriced for a guy who is almost certainly going to be the third wide receiver tonight. He's going to be on the field a lot, but I think a lot of people are failing to realize that that is Justin Herbert's guy. We have not seen proof that he is old baseball bats guy. By the way, baseball bats, Easton Stick. Keep up with the jokes, new guy. So Jalen Guyton at $1,400 is underpriced, and because he's underpriced, he will naturally be over-owned, and when he's over-owned, I am naturally going to be the hell out, okay? From there, Erickson and Davis if you want some punt wide receivers, but I cannot imagine that the Chargers are going to be running tons of 4 and 5 wides tonight, so be careful with that. At tight end, Gerald Everett is back. Gerald Everett being back is, he's their number one tight end. I know Parham is like 7'8" and gets a lot of targets, especially in the red zone, but Gerald Everett is the starting tight end. At $5,200, he's not exactly a free square, right? $5,200 is not cheap, and I think if you were playing that the Chargers are going to have a functional offense tonight, you think Easton Stick, you can see we only have him projected for 196 yards tonight. If you think he's going to be closer to 225 or 250, I think Gerald Everett is a guy that you could probably see get 5 to 7 targets and could be useful in this game, right? So I'm not afraid to play him. The thing with Smart and Parham, I think people are going to want to play them. We do got to watch Parham. He is a little banged up. There is a chance he'll be out tonight. But I think both of those guys become very touchdown dependent, and I don't know that I want to be touchdown dependent with these offenses. I think the kicker, Dicker the kicker, and the Chargers defense are going to be wildly popular tonight, as they should be. I think that these teams are going to be kicking a lot of field goals, which makes these kickers probably more valuable on this slate than probably any. I think that these offenses probably will move the ball between the 20s, surprisingly enough, but I think they're really going to struggle in the red zone. If you're buying that narrative, I think that gives kickers a big boost in their value. And then the defenses against these quarterbacks are always viable, Bob. Okay. The only way that I would want to caution you about these defenses is this: if this game is slow and sloggy, and these teams are running the ball, and each team runs between 50 to 55 plays, that's just not a lot of opportunities for the defenses to score. Defenses score points whenever there's lots of passing opportunities, so they can get sacks, fumbles, interceptions, stuff like that. Right? If the game is just each team running the ball, and it's a very slow, 14 to 13 game, a lot of times defenses do not get there in those types of games. Moving over to the Raiders. You've got AOC, old Articles of Confederation, and we know what he is. He's actually not that bad. He's kind of a solid quarterback. I know he looked like dog shit against Minnesota, but he's okay. He's okay. He's serviceable. At 9,600, he's not exactly cheap, right? So I think that once again, I think the quarterbacks are going to be lower owned tonight versus where they should be in a showdown game, because once again, they're the one guys who have the ball in their hand all the time. Look at that, 161 people in here, 79 likes. That means we have what? 82 donkey dicks in here. What is your problem? Hit the like button. I'm getting a swig of the cold brew while you hit the like button. Delicious. Okay, moving on to the Raiders. All right. Aiden O'Connell's fine, right? Aiden O'Connell, if you were playing that this game is going to be 24 to 21 or, 24 to 23, 24 27, just like, a good 10 to 12 points higher than the expected total, a lot like what we saw with the Patriots game last week, then I think these quarterbacks become very viable, right? Yes, Aiden O'Connell is overpriced versus what he is as a player, and with this likely what is to be the game script with this total that we have. But that doesn't mean he's unplayable, right? Matter of fact, that actually makes him more playable to me, right? So Aiden O'Connell in the right scripts is definitely a guy that could get there. But to me, where you're really going to have to make your money tonight is what the hell are the Raiders going to do with this backfield? It would appear as though Zamir White is probably going to be the one that benefits the most, but I still think you're going to see a lot of Amir Abdullah. The problem is they're kind of the same dude. If you watch their game, they kind of have the same skill set, right? They're both just glorified third down backs. I don't know which one they're going to just give the ball and say, go run 2 yards up the guard's ass. Neither of those guys particularly strike me as that. I think the Zamir White will lead this backfield, but just because you're leading the backfield doesn't mean you're always in the best role. Sometimes leading the backfield means that you're just going to get 15 carries for 34 yards because you're constantly just running up the guard's ass. The real value for running backs comes in two spots. Targets out of the backfield, because we know that full point PPR adds up real quick, and it's a lot easier to get 9 yards on a pass catch catch than it is on the run. And the other place where running backs get their value is goal line carries, right? And neither of these guys are traditional goal line carry backs, right? If I had to bet, I would guess that Zamir White will be getting more of the goal line carries and that Amir Abdullah will probably be getting more of the targets. So trying to guess those two right, not going to be the easiest thing, but I do think there is some real value there. I don't love playing them both together unless you think that the Raiders are going to dominate this game. If you think the Raiders are going to win something like 24-7, well then yeah, maybe they do just get ahead and they just rotate giving both these guys the balls. Balls? I got balls on my mind. More on that later. No, I'm not going to tell you about it. Okay. Weird to have balls on your mind. Moving on to wide receiver, Devontae Adams. He is a little banged up, and there's the whole part where he's old and dusty. You can't forget that part. But 11,200 and him having a Q tag for tonight, I think is going to make him just a little questionable. So that actually makes me like him more, right? I think I would like him more. And then Jacoby Myers is also overpriced. Both of these guys are overpriced versus what they offer, and weirdly enough, that makes me like them. On a slate like this, the more overpriced you are, the more interested I am, right? Because first of all, people always are looking for a value. They always just jump straight to points per dollar, and on this slate, I think that doesn't really make a shit of difference, right? So the fact that they're overpriced, I think that I am getting a little bit of value. And let's face it, they basically only throw the ball to Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers. Hunter Renfrow, I believe we're going to start calling him Houdini because his ass has disappeared on this season. And then Trey Tucker and DeAndre Carter. Maybe they'll get some random catch, whatever. I like on a slate like this, I don't want to punt at a wide receiver, right? I just don't want to punt with these wide receivers. You're going to spend all this time being like, but what happens if DeAndre Carter gets a reverse for 60 yards and scores a touchdown? And you're going to spend all your time making your lineup around these sleeper plays, and you're not even giving any thought to what's just the real narrative of the game or how your roster construction matters. It just drives me nuts about Showdown. You don't got to play these wild punts. Plus, especially in a game where there's going to be so many punts. You get it? Because they're not going to move the ball, so they're going to... Okay, shut up, guy in the back. All right, moving on. Tight end. I already told you, Michael Mayer, 3,200, a very fair price. He is on the field quite a bit. He is definitely their number one, but Austin Hooper gets out there too. He gets his targets. Michael Mayer, you can see he only averages 2.6 targets a game. That's just my biggest concern. Like, I think he's going to be out there. I think that the Raiders could move the ball, but Jesus, he's just not that involved. At some point, you got to say, like, how involved is this guy, right? Like, this isn't Halloween. Michael Mayers isn't just killing it out there. See what I did? If you want to play, I honestly, it wouldn't even, I think Austin Hooper outscores Michael Myers, like legit 1 out of 3 times. Like that's how close I think they are, right? But Michael Myers is going to be like way higher owned, okay? And last time I checked, it ain't Halloween, bub. Okay. Let's see. Moving on over here, as I've already told you, I think the kickers and the defenses are both in great spots tonight. I'm not afraid to play them, especially if I think that one team is going to be ahead. If you think the Raiders are going to win this game, whatever the score, 24-7, 23-7, something like that, 23-10, 24-10, which would be right in line where Vegas has the line. You think the Raiders are going to control this? I think Daniel Carlson kicking in a dome is a very, very good option. I think the Raiders could move the ball and may struggle to punch it in, especially without Josh Jacobs. And then I think the Raiders defense at 4,200 is very playable against old baseball bat, right? You're telling me baseball bat can't take 5 sacks tonight, maybe fumbles one of them, and Max Crosby, if I assume Max Crosby's playing tonight, picks it up and takes it to the house. You're telling me you can't see that? So, kickers and defenses I do like tonight, but here's what I'm going to tell you about the kickers and the defenses for both teams. I'm not the only motherfather that sees that these guys could be really good plays tonight. So be aware of that, right? When you go jam two defenses and a kicker into your lineup, you are getting into a build that almost everybody else is going to be in. So be aware of that when you build it, okay? All right. Hey, I got 99 likes and you ain't one of them. All right, hit the like button, you motherfathers. While I do, I'm not even going to sell the website today. If you don't know about DGen75 by now, who the hell are you? Hey, here's a collage. Look at all these winners this week. I mean, just absolutely insane. My dude Jackie winning 21,000. Paul Meck winning 1250. Jay Bannock, I believe, is in the early stages of a retirement. He wins so much money at DFS. Behind enemy lines, Bill, Dice Hawk, DC, my boy, Jay Kim. Look at all those motherfather flags. Bitcom, Delbert McFly, M. Bosch, Too Hard. I mean, like, just incredible. Paul, don't forget, 4,000. By the way, he was winning that and then got robbed at the last minute. Damn you, garbage points. So big shout out to all my winners. Oh, and I have this thing over on my site called the Rosetta Stone, which is right here. I put this out for every slate, not just for NFL. I do it for college football. I do it for PGA. It's all right here. It has everything you need. The rankings of the defense, how much they run and pass, color-coded. I know you guys don't have 8 hours to just sit around on a Thursday and be like, oh, lineups. Oh, I make lineups all day. Okay, I have that life, okay? And let me tell you, it's not as great as you think. But if you want a way to make all the right decisions when it comes down to Thursday Night Football, have all the relevant information, that is what the Rosetta Stone does. I encourage you to check it out. And don't forget, actually, you know what, editor? You go ahead and draw the 2 names. While I do that, we're doing 2 names. When we get to 150, I'll do 3. Big crowd today, 160 likes, 160 people, 108 likes. I appreciate all you motherfuckers being here on Thursday. Editor, you draw those 2 names. I'm going to polish off this cold brew. I cannot believe I started a show with an almost empty bottle of cold brew. Rookie mistakes from the big guy. Rookie mistakes. Damn, that stuff smacks. That stuff smacks. All right. Real quick, don't forget at the top of the hour, go check out my dudes over at Ship It. They will be breaking down this Thursday Night Football slate. Also, Title, Hoot, Tambo, breaking it down. They do a great job. Highly encourage you to go watch them. It's like my show, except, not an asshole yelling at you, calling you names, and cussing too much. Okay, it's like that. It's just, but other than that, it's basically the same show. And, they're smart too. And they'll probably say something I didn't say, okay? I'm kidding. They'll say a lot of stuff I didn't say. All right. Let's see. Is the editor ever going to draw these names, or does the editor need one swift kick of the nutsack? 'Tis the question. I'm going to start answering questions until the editor starts drawing. All right. Let's see. Ryan Fedor. All right. It'd be cool if your last name was Fedora. All right. What's the better D to play, and would you use it at captain? So here, Ryan, here's the answer to this. I think this game is very conducive to defenses at the captain spot tonight, Ryan, right? Here's the problem. I also think that it is going to be very popular, and I will go down on this ship 100 times out of 100. I will never play chalky defenses in the captain. I just won't. I just think it's a bad play. I like playing defenses in the captain on slates when nobody is considering it, right? Like a game that's, like the Chiefs versus the Bills, like some game that everybody's thinking is going to shoot out. Those are the kind of games I like to get sneaky and put a defense in there, right? But a game like this where everybody's going to be playing the defense in the captain, I'm not kidding. I think that both these defenses will be borderline 10% owned in the captain spot. That is freaking ridiculous. All right. The editor said that the bot is dead. The editor killed the bot. Oh, my God. It looks like Blue Boy 225 and FPLM Finn. You are the winners, you motherfathers. You can reach out to me on the Twitters. You can reach out to me on my Discord. We will build a lineup tonight. Send it to me. I will get back to you. We will do it. I will ship you money. Never forget, me and my dude Cody did win $25,000 this year. I split it with him. I would love to. I want to hit something bigger. We're running out of time this year to hit something bigger. So let's hit something bigger than $25,000 tonight. Could be Travis with a super chat. You give this guy one shout out. I knew Travis back before he was famous and rich, okay? I knew him back before then. I've yet to build the nuts from 150 feet up in the crane. This guy is at a crane yard sitting there building frickin' ships, just hacking away on lineups. The man's a legend. Try to build my lineups ground up like a mere mortal. Won 10,000. Yeah, I saw you just the other night, Travis. For what Twitter loves to put you in my feed. Maybe it's because you're always posting them screenshots. Big fan of Travis. Congratulations. He was just an average DFS player, just grinding it, having fun with it. Got his big hit, and now he's on a heater. And that's what I want DFS to be for everybody. All of you that think that you're going to play this for a year and just magically start printing, I was a fucking losing piece of shit DFS player for 2.5 years before I started to become a break-even player. And then I had to do that for a while before I became a profitable player. It's about the journey. And if you think you're going to start playing DFS, you just found my show today, hey, I'm going to go try one of these DraftKings lineups, and you think you're going to win tonight, you may. But that won't be sustainable. You don't even know what you don't know. It is a process that takes a while to learn, and there's a reason that only about 10% of players are profitable at DFS. Once you realize that, you're going to have so much more fun with DFS and quit thinking that you're going to win every week. Learn how to make DFS sustainable. Have fun with it and do it long enough to build your own process. And I promise you one day, if you do those 3 things, you will hit a big one. And there is nothing better than the high of hitting a big hit at DFS. The problem is with all you donkey dicks, you think you're going to do this for 3 weeks and you're going to hit one. And that's not how life works, bro. All right, Nick with a super chat. Merry Christmas to the editor. Hope you feel better, buddy. It's worse tonight. Is tonight the worst Thursday night football of the year? No, Nick. A lot of people might say that, but let me tell you why you're wrong, Nicholas. It's very simple. The uglier a game, the more I like it, right? I would much rather have this game than, let's say, like the Cowboys versus the Eagles or something like that, because I like ugly games, right? It allows for more creativity, right? When everybody doesn't have the quote-unquote free squares or a very, very good idea of how a game is going to play out, I feel like there's more of an edge, right? Just look, think, Nick, let's convert this to PGA. Look at, like, literally every time at week long this year I won, right? Like I won the one last week, the stupid event with the LPGA, right? I finished top 10 at the frickin' Dell Match Play. I won the frickin' Zurich. I finished fourth in the Ryder Cup. What do all those have in common? The weird fucking things where not everybody knows the answer. And the weirder something is, the more I get to play the game. And the more I get to play the game, I have a better chance of winning. I love slates like this. Give me the nastiest, filthiest slate you've ever seen in your life for every single one. I'll play them every single time. I don't want a game that has all the stars and they're all healthy and all the offenses are clicking, because basically you get into the exact same builds as 57,000 other people, and that's not what I want to do. I want these slimy slates, so how dare you question this slate, Nick? All right, get into questions now. Let's see. Hey, Carlito coming in with a boomer, you motherfather. Let's go. Little bum that we lost one of our best linemen yesterday. Transfer portal and NIL money tilting my tits. All right, I play the $15 single entry for Showdown slates. Tonight, one contest has a good payout structure, but 4,000 entries. The other isn't as great, 2,300. I prefer, Jared, this is a great question, by the way. I prefer better payout structures than I do smaller amount of entries, right? That's where I'm at. Yep. Especially if you're like me, Jared, and you like to build a little contrarian. I really don't mind 4,000 versus 2,300, right? I consider both of those medium-sized contests. For me, the three definitions are 1,000 people between anything less than 1,000, I consider a small contest. 1,000 to 5,000, I consider a medium contest, and 5,000 plus, I consider large contest. So to me, both of those fall into that medium contest range. So I'm going to take the better payout structure, bro. Blue Boy says, do you think that a 4-2 Charger stack with Easton stack at captain is too chalky? No, I think that I actually really like that build. They're underdog, so right there, you already know that the Chargers 4-2 is not going to be common, and I do not think Easton is going to be wildly popular in the captain spot tonight, Blue Boy. Boy Blue, my bad. All right, if Jacobs is out, who would you play at White as he gets Jacobs' workload? That's a tough question, man. I'm guessing just like you. I think White's going to get more of the first and second down work, and I would guess Abdullah's probably going to get more of the third down work. But once again, we're just projecting, man. I'm just guessing here. Lunch with Uncle Dejin. Shit game. Nick, if you shit on this game one more time, I swear to God. Who's got it better than us? I mean, I would say nobody. Ross K says, do you think that most people will stick to Easton stick in the captain spot? And a grimy asks, no, I do not think he's going to be popular. People don't know who he is. They are going to think that I'm not paying $9,400 for some guy named after a baseball bat. Get the hell out of here with that. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Is Easton Stick going to stick it to us tonight? If you fade him, maybe. No, I mean, there's a good chance he's going to get 7 points tonight, right? Like, you're telling me you can't see him being 168 passing yards and 5 rushing yards and no touchdowns? Like, that is very, very possible. Hey, new guy, thinking about making all your lineups be high scoring? Will that be unique? Yeah. If you think this game is going to even get to so the total is, what is that? 34 and a half. Say that the total just gets to 45 in this game. Who becomes better players in a 45-point total versus a 34-point total is crazy different, right? Crazy different. Which slapdick QB ends up in the optimal? If I had to pick, I would go Easton, but I honestly think that they're about the same. I think they're about the same. I don't think you'd go wrong with either one. I do think AOC, Old Articles Confederation, will be a little bit more popular than old baseball bat Easton Stick. All right, Stick or Duggan starting? I'm pretty sure it's Stick. So far, that's what we have. That's what we have projected. Shit could always change. Have you become a poor? I've noticed advertisements. Travis, this is a great question. We have started putting ads on all of our videos except the Wednesday night emergency stream. And it's very, very simple. I make like $100 a month off of YouTube. The ad sharing is insulting. You're like, well, then why do you put ads on your videos if you're only making $100? I don't give a fuck about YouTube money. Shit, Nick gives me way more money than any frickin' YouTube does, Travis. So here's the answer. Ever since we started putting ads on our videos, YouTube has been sharing my shit like crazy, right? That's just how fucked up YouTube is. They want ads, and they're like, oh, now we're going to get a slice of your revenue? Let us go put it in front of every person in the world. So because we put ads on our videos, YouTube has started sharing our video around more, and it's popping up in people's recommendeds more. That's that simple. When we weren't putting those ads on there, YouTube's like, well, then fuck you. If we're not getting a slice of it, we're going to bury your ass, and you got to give it up to YouTube. They did it. Moving on, with the recent bias, what happened with Hill Monday night? Do you see lower than expected ownership on Super Chalk? With the recent, I assume you mean recency bias on what happened with Hill Monday night. Do you see lower than expected ownership on Super Chalk? No, I don't think people are going to give that any consideration. Right, that was a fluke. And I just know this: people like to spend their money. Mike, what are the odds of an air raid shootout tonight? 1 out of 10, maybe 1 out of 25. It's going to be low, but I do see a game in which one team does well. But just an all-out shootout, a 31-28 game, I would say 5% at most, so 1 in 20. Is the defense captain going to be making a comeback tonight? Yeah, it's going to be popular tonight, Bob. It's going to be real popular. Don't forget to go hop in my contest. Editor right there, put it in the chat. No excuses, okay? All right, will this be an ugly game? I think that's what everybody thinks, Jarvis. I could see it going the other way, right? I mean, every single one of these primetime games, everybody's convinced this team's going to blow out this team. This team has no offense. Like, everybody's wrong. Here's just a great rule to remember with DFS. As DFS content has become so sharp and the average player has become sharper, just remember this. Anytime the DFS community agrees on something, they're fucking wrong. They're wrong a lot, way more than they should be. This is why I love PGA. When everybody's like, you got to play bombers. Okay, well, I'm playing every short hitter because all the experts are saying something. Okay, like the group think in DFS is laughable. All right, what is the best strategy for single entry DK GPP contest on this disgusting showdown slate? Playing a narrative that not everybody else. Did you know that AOC is going to beat Stick on live TV tonight? Did you know that AOC is going to beat a Stick on? I guess so. That's certainly one of two possibilities. Palmer gonna do Keaton Allen impersonation tonight? I would not hold my breath on that. If Palmer gets 14 targets and 12 catches like Keaton Allen does every game, I will come on this air and eat my hat with steak sauce and a knife. Would you fade kickers given that neither kicker has been really good at night? Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that comment, God. Kicker splits don't exactly worry me, especially when we're in a dome like we are tonight, and you know the big guy loves a dome. All right, chances of shifting Raiders QB tonight if things go poorly offensively. It's a possibility. It is like to act like that couldn't happen is a possibility, which may actually keep Articles Confederation's ownership down. But to me, that makes me like him a little bit more, because if he's going to get off to a slow start, he wasn't going to get there anyway, right? So let's just hope he comes out hot, and people were a little reluctant to play him because of that narrative. I think that's a thing there, boy. The boy from Cali, welcome. Don't recognize your name. New guy? Man, I am bummed about being out of cold brew. Jeez Louise, amateur hour. Do you ever dabble in the NBA streets? Tyler, I used to, and I actually like NBA DFS. It's pretty fun, right? I don't like playing it 7 days a week, but like on the nights where there's 5 to 9 games, I used to love. My first big hit I ever had, well, big hit, it was like $5,000, but when you first start playing and you first win $5,000, you're like, oh my God, right? Like that's a big deal when you've never even hit $1,000 and you hit 5,000, you think you're a god. That was what first got me addicted. So yes, I do like NBA. I just don't have any time. My priority these days is no longer being a pro DFS player. My job is making sure that I deliver the best content and tools to my members, and I've had to make some sacrifices because of that. I don't get to play as much DFS as I want to, but 'tis the life I have chosen, mate. 'Tis the life I have chosen. Hey, big guy, thoughts on AOC stack tonight? Seems like a 4-2 Raiders build is going to be a good move. Yeah, but I will warn you, I think that's probably only behind a 3-3. I think that will be the second most common build, but I think you can get away with it, bro. Once again, Nick, thank you for the super chat. Jerry says, in a 3-max contest, willing to take a lot of risk. How bad is it to start a backup quarter? Oh, God. I mean, you can do that, Jerry, but I would literally only do that in mega contests. I'm talking like the Millionaire Maker. And a 3-max, I just think you're getting too cute. That's just too cute for a 3-max, right? You don't need to make that crazy of a leverage play in such a small contest. That's what I would say. I actually don't mind it if you're a YOLO, let's go balls to the wall in the Millionaire Maker. That's fine. But in a 3-max, Jerry, I have to tell you, I'm vehemently against it. How will this growth slate do? Do you expect a number of overlays tonight? No, I don't. There will be no overlays tonight. I almost guarantee you there'll be no overlays. Maybe you'll catch like some weird double up overlay, but the main contest will almost certainly fill. Let's see. They're pretty low right now, but those things fill up really fast throughout the day. I wouldn't hold my breath on an overlay, but, if there is, great. I'll even play if there's an overlay. Did me pretty well last week with women's golf, and the big guy loves women's golf. Very respectful of women's golf, I am. Do I have a super chat down here? What's going on? Is there another super chat down here? Holy shit, Jason Kim, you mother father. Is he just blowing me a kiss there? Oh, no, he's giving me a heart. Jason Kim, a new legend. Thank you, Jason Kim. Which, by the way, editor, we were supposed to, I'm pretty sure somebody was supposed to be sponsoring these giveaways, weren't they? Wasn't it like Eric or somebody? Editors. You can tell the editor's sick. Dropping the ball. I swear we had somebody who wanted to sponsor the giveaway. No, maybe there was somebody. Somebody wanted to sponsor it, editor. I'm blaming you. All right, Slovakia says, Raiders, more to play for. Trying to keep the coach, Pierce's job, Allen not play. Yeah, I don't buy that. I think NFL teams always have something to play for. Even these teams that are quote-unquote supposed to be tanking so they can get the Caleb Williams sweepstakes, they still go out, they still play well, they still win. I think both these teams want to win. These are professional athletes that are playing for their jobs. They don't give a shit about anything but doing their best and trying to win. I've never bought that narrative at NFL. Is playing the Chargers quarterback with the practice buddies at wide receiver a good narrative? Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, that's something to run with. Playing both teams to score 14-plus points and fading defenses? Yeah, if you fade both defenses, you land up going to be really different. Which team has the better punt option? I don't know. I don't know much about these teams' punters, so I can't really tell you. No, I'm kidding. Let's see. The better punt options, probably the Chargers. With Keenan Allen being out, there's a lot of value to possibly be had at the wide receiver spot if you think old baseball bat Easton Stick isn't going to suck. Will the two slapdick QB build be contrarian tonight? Will two slapdick QB be contrarian tonight? Will the two? Yes. If you play both quarterbacks, you're going to be really different. Wow. Chi-Town Sean, don't recognize you. What's up, new guy? How much is too much to leave on the table? I think tonight you could easily leave $2,000 on the table. Easily. Hell, probably even more than that. I'm never one of those guys that's leaving $5,000 on the table, but I think $2,000, $2,500, if it fits the narrative you like, could definitely get there. Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, that's a pretty good question there. New guy. Welcome, new guy. All right, Liv has a much better D. I think so. Crypto, I'm watching. That only better be your second question. I'm watching you, bruh. Let's see. How much salary are you comfortable leaving on the table? Already answered it. Other Slovakia. We'll call you Slovenia. Don't you feel like you leave a real lot of money on the table tonight? Yeah, wow, a lot of you guys asked the same question. In a sloppy game, does this feel like three different narratives in a 3-max or 3? Yeah, I always, in a 3-max, I'm always running one narrative, right? One narrative, and I'm running 3 different versions of it. Because say you want to go with the Raiders whoop that ass tonight, and you want to run 5-1 Raiders builds, right? I think you still got to nail the 5 correct Raiders, right? Or maybe you have the 5 Raiders you like, and you need to nail the 1 Charger bring back, right? So there is a path to just running 3 different versions of the same narrative. Why are there so many injuries this year? I agree, Luke. I've been covering DFS NFL for a long time, and I do not recall this many injuries to so many big stars, right? Especially the way Tyreek Hill got tackled the other night. I thought we were about to lose another one. The high upside risky captain only good for GPPs or also for cash? For cash, you don't want to do that. For cash, your captain should probably be like Eckler, or maybe one of the defenses or something like that. Somebody who just has a really safe floor. I think even Joshua Palmer could probably be viable. Maybe even the quarterbacks, but man, I don't know if I trust these quarterbacks in cash. With Eckler chalky captain, would Jacoby Myers be a great captain? Yes, in GPPs, for sure. Found this podcast, love your style. Hey, Ron, I just found you in the comments, and I like your style, you motherfucker. All right. Easton Stick. Yeah, that is a good name. Let's see. Cubby. We got a lot of new people in here tonight. What's going on? You see, this is what I'm talking about, Travis. You put some ads on your videos. All the new guys show up. See what I'm doing? I'm running a business, man. What you want from me? All right. Do you compare projections between sites like LineStar, Osmo, etc.? We kind of make our own projections, and we feel so good about them. I don't really compare them. Really, the only thing I'll look at, if I were to look at another site's projections, would just simply to see who they're projecting in or out, right? Like, because sometimes with 5th wide receivers and stuff like that, there can be some debate who's going to get called up and stuff like that. But outside of that, that's about the only time I'm really looking at other people's projections, because there's this little fact called I don't really give a fuck what they think. Does 5-1 Chargers ship? Does the 5-1 Chargers ship? It could. It certainly could. Or it couldn't. John says, is choosing is choosing stick and the captain getting different enough for a large field single entry? Is choosing stick and the captain field getting different enough for a large field? Yeah, I think so. I do not. I think he will be under versus where it should be. Editor, come look at my screen. It says focus on your live stream and let YouTube insert ads for you. I've never seen this on our screen, Editor. Maybe this is why Travis was saying the thing about the ads. Are they just like fucking sticking ads in the middle of this video without my permission? Slimy motherfathers. Never seen that little thing at the top of the thing over here, Editor. Let's see. Do you like Do you like going double tight end tonight? I could get down with some double tight end. Give me some effort. I maybe Michael Myers. I'm just worried. It's getting too close to Christmas. Michael Myers living in the sewers this time of year. How many RBs is too many for tonight? I think you could easily play 3 RBs tonight, right? I think you could play Eckler and you could get away with White and Abdullah if you want to have a weird build, right? I think that's going to be a pretty weird build. Let's see, old TG. Hey, I know this guy. I think Easton 6 captain lineups with Eckler at the flex. Yeah, I like that. Stick ran the ball in college. Could steal some TDs. Yeah, I agree. Stick does have a little bit of running equity. All right. How much are you prioritizing either quarterback in your lineups? I will tell you, I will have at least one quarterback in all my lineups. Faux shizzle, my dizzle. Just ignore it. Oh, Eder said ignored. It's always there. Okay. Is there a live stream for Saturday slate, big guy? Jeff, are you trying to piss me off? Saturday, 7 o'clock in the Lord's time zone. How dare you ask that question, guy who's on my team that should already know the answers to these things? How dare you, Jeff? Okay, I'm going to let it slide because you're a Canadian and you're so nice. All right, is this the night the Chargers decided to get the coach fired? 5-1 Raiders, cuz? Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, that could be your narrative, okay? Okay. Unless you have a Herbert broken finger, hit the like button. That's straight from Dollar Bill. He played right guard. Don't mess with that guy. Hey, new guy, do you see that little thumbs up? Hit it. I mean, we are rallying to 150 likes over there. You guys could get there. Still enough time. Is Devontae's smash thing a game we have been waiting for? Yeah, I mean, Devontae's due for a big one. But you know what? He's been due for a big one all year, and he ain't done shit. I guess he had one good game, right? Whatever. No weird from Oklahoma. What the fuck? No weird if you from Oklahoma. What the fuck? I am from Oklahoma. You got a problem with it? All right. How crazy is it to fade Eckler? Yeah, look, he's going to be crazy popular in that Ventrini for one simple reason. People are just going to have money to play him, right? And people are just going to assume he is going to be eating up some of those targets from Keenan Allen, all right? And he's going to be a safety blanket for old Easton Stick. So he makes a lot of sense. So he's, of course, going to do good, or he couldn't. I'm just saying. There's always a path to fading him. You got play Tyreek Hill even though he's 93%, or you don't. What do you get? 10.1 points. I know you're looking for a new staff member. Is the guy in the back job available? Nope. Looks like he's still alive. He gets to keep. Yeah, he's still alive. Yeah, pretty sure. Okay, moving on. Would you rather play the... Okay, Snoop, you're asking too many damn questions. 2 questions or you're going to get your ass muted. How owned do we think Guyton getting in higher stakes? At some point, do you just play him? Yeah, I mean, he's going to be rude popular, Bob. Rude popular. And the thing is, I still think he's the 3rd wide receiver. He is a good wide receiver. But I also, we haven't exactly seen a long track record of Easton Stick just loving some Jalen Guyton, right? We only have 1 game to go off of, and we've already seen, just like people overreacted to Joe Flacco's first game to Elijah Moore, and then what happened the next game? David Njoku got every freaking catch and touchdown ever. So I never like to react to just 1 game worth of data. Favorite captain, Johnson or Myers? Ooh, probably Myers, just because we've seen him not suck balls before. What's your biggest win ever? Didn't I just fucking answer this the other day? Pretty sure I did. Go watch the stream from Monday. I just answered it the other day. Enough that I didn't have to work for 3 years. Favorite high-risk flex play from each team? Favorite high-risk flex play from each team? Yeah, I'm not doing that. Too much of a pick, bro. We don't do picks here. Don't worry. There'll be 58 other shows on today. They'll give you all the picks your little ass can handle. I promise. With the total of the new, this low with. By the way, my dude Shuggy told me to start being nicer to dumb questions. I hope I've passed this test tonight. I feel like I'm being really good and not being mean. I've not called anybody a donkey dick yet. With the total this low, would you recommend 2 kickers and a defense? I don't mind that. If you think it's going to be a slow, sloggy game, kickers and defenses, Big Colt, do often outperform them, right? But just remember, you're not going to be the only motherfather thinking that. Matter of fact, it's going to be very popular. Julian in the house. Which practice missing motherfather would be hotter tonight? Josh Jacobs or Devontae? I mean, Devontae, right? Do you ever make adjustments to your projections? Oh, absolutely. We will have them done almost immediately. Like if we get some weird news that Devontae Adams is inactive or some weird shit like that or something like that, we will definitely update them because most people are using our projections over in the solver. And building their lineups right up until the start of the show. Holy shit, we're an hour into this show? God, you guys are freaking bringing it. I'm answering like 4 more questions, and then I'm out of here like a fat kid in dodgeball, okay? Like a fat kid at a diet retreat. I've never made that joke. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh man, Travis and Nick have given me way more money than YouTube ads ever have, right? Whenever I see my money on how much money I make off YouTube, which if anybody who tells you they're making a living off YouTube, lying through their teeth, all right? You've got to have like 250,000 followers to even consider making money off of YouTube. Get the fuck out of here. All right, let's see. I can respect. We have more people going to get to see your content. Thanks, Travis. Appreciate that, man. And I appreciate the super chat and Nick and my dude Jason. You mother father. A new super chatter. Don't mind it. Let's see. I've noticed that I was seeing your content more. Hey, there you go, Eric. It's paying off, Bill. It's paying off. Is it true that a bunch of touts before I found this content first? It's true. I found a bunch of touts before I found this content at first. I mean, look, whenever you put picks or plays or whatever in the title of your video, you're going to get clicked on so much more because when people go search on DraftKings, they're putting DraftKings NFL picks or plays or core plays. That's why everybody puts it in their title. That's why it's in the thumbnail. And then my whole business model is, hey, why don't I just not do that at all? It's pretty stupid when you think about it, but that's not who I want to be, right? If you lose tonight, it's going to be because of your own shitty picks, not because of mine. I'm just here to help you play the game. All I know how to do is play the game. My picks, just like yours, just like your touts, just like the people on Twitter, they all fucking suck. All right, is cash more like single entry? Yeah, kind of. Yeah, but I would still be a little more ballsy with my single entry than cash. When does Christmas music start? Probably the week of Christmas. You know we're going to have some Candy Cane Lane. Problem is we're going to get a copyright claim, so I might not do it this year. Now that I'm into ads, so I can make $11 a month off of YouTube. Let's see. What's the saying in radio? Long-time listener, first-time caller? Beetle Bane. You mother father. Welcome, dude. Hey, love to see people in there. This has been the most active chat ever. I cannot believe I'm in here for a freaking hour. Jesus. And I've been out of cold brew for 15 minutes. Get out of here, cold brew. All right. Sorry, I'm still tilted about that if you can't tell. Big guy, ever bet UFC or hockey? I don't, and I won't. I just don't do it, man. There's only so many hours in the day, and I want to focus on the things that I feel like I'm an expert in and I can help you at. I'm never going to be one of those guys that's like, here, come listen to my MLB picks. Bro, I couldn't name 10 guys in Major League Baseball, which is sad because when I grew up, I knew everything about baseball. That was what originally got me into fantasy sports when I was 13. Oh, God, I loved fantasy baseball. That was back in the day where you had to buy the magazines and you would ship your lineups off to the company and they would put them in for you. It was the best. You did because there was no internet. Well, I mean, it was like the infancy. All right, in a 20 max, do you maybe try to play 2 or 3 captains, or is that too many? Yeah, Alex, that's exactly where I'd be. If I'm playing 20 lineups, I would probably be having about 3 captains rotated. I think that's a good number, Alec. Billy Host Sports in the house. Do you ever have any plans on prop content for the solver? Yeah, so, I mean, we are adding props. I don't know how we would incorporate them into the solver, but we are going to probably have something where we, like, text them out to people and post announcements over on the website. Can you just not put picks and pick words that would still come up when Slappy searched the YouTube? I mean, Nick, if you've ever noticed, our show always says DraftKings strategy, and then it says parentheses, not, and then it says picks because we want the word pick showing up whenever people search it. But in the title, it says not picks, right? That's just us trying to hustle the stupid fucking algorithm. Have you heard of Ohtani? Yeah, he just got like $700 million. I'm not hopeless, Ross. I just don't keep up with it. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. It looks like in 2 minutes, my dudes over at Ship It or Starting. Go check out their show. Don't forget to come check out DGen75. For all my members, go fill out my freaking survey. It's on the Discord. It's on the website. I'm giving away $5,000 for people who fill it out. Go fill it out. And if you want to, hop in my contest. I'll be pushing that again Saturday. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for a great show. We will talk to you later. I'm going to go get more cold brew. Enjoy this outro.